Today is a short episode of the Road Testament. I'm joined by Leo Parente from Shakedown.
So my height makes it a short episode. Was that a short joke?
It was indeed.
Oh my God.
We're speaking of the Toyota GT86, the Subaru BRZ, and the Scion FRS, all revealed in the past week. Today on the show.
So one show, one car.
Yes.
Ah.
Tokyo Auto Show was this past week where we saw the Subaru BRZ. We saw the concept actually at LA. We both liked that. That was an awesome concept. We've got Toyota with the GT86, not the FT, which is, of course, based off the AE86.
Future Tech versus GT, real car now.
Weird. Okay, and then last night in LA we had the FRS revealed for the US market. Now, you being a marketing guy, and you've come from the corporate environment, you used to work for Toyota.
Yes.
Why are all these cars pretty much exactly the same? We know that they all share a platform. We've known that for a while, but when they all came out, we were all shocked by the fact that they're almost sharing body panels.
Well, there's a couple of nuances to your question. Why they're exactly the same? I fear that really is cost-driven.
Okay.
Because you can look at other brands that have done this, shared platforms, and there have been differences. But this whole thing is probably very, very business-driven. Each model, each brand probably feels they've got a reason why they need this car and the sales that'll come from this car to add to their mix. Scion, based on the comments we're seeing, needs to kind of perk up their brand again, and this is one of these authentic cars that they're hoping will do that. Toyota in Japan and around the rest of the world, they want more personality in the brand. Akio Toyoda,
they need it,
has been screaming for that, so this is their shot. Subaru probably wants to find a price point to fit, and I wonder what their big plan is. So they've all got business reason. Now the yen-dollar thing has created a lot of pressure on each company, and if you can kind of parcel out the engineering expenses, that makes good business sense. I fear, though, there was somewhere in the meeting that says, well, I want a new front end and I want a new front clip. Well, that's going to cost X million more. Screw that. We'll just do this right now.
Well, this isn't the first time we've seen brands that aren't really related actually working together on the same car. We've, as recent as Volkswagen and Chrysler with the minivan, the cross country. And we've seen this all over the place, right?
Oh, Dodge and Mitsubishi have done a ton of things. The Eclipse story is a huge one. But, there's one of those examples where the marketplace speaks, and the Eclipse is the iconic car. Does anyone remember the Talon version of it? So somewhere along the line, if you make them two identical, people are going to make their choices based on what they like and how they feel about the brand. Small survey, or not a global survey, but a survey of our Fastlane Daily viewers, they dismissed the Scion brand. They want the Subaru.
Well, let's start from the basics. All three cars are, from a performance standpoint, the same. They all share the same 2-liter motor, all just about 200 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. Weight, we still don't know official details on weight. They haven't released that, but
it's light.
Yes, exactly. And when you look under the engine and when you look under the front hood, the engine cover says Toyota and Subaru
I know everyone
on the same cover.
I know everyone's
both cars.
I know everyone's commented that it's like a 13% ownership of Toyota with Subaru now, and they really are teamed up. I'm kind of surprised that they're co-branding the car into the car to the marketplace. I guess there's a little Subaru impression on one of the fenders. You talked about the engine cover. I mean, they're making no bones about they're a shared entity. However, somewhere along the line, they're going to be brand specific.
At the end of the day, if you're really thinking about it, you're only buying one of these cars because they're basically all the same car based off its brand and based off its badge, right?
And okay, so that becomes a challenge. And I've thought a lot about this from a marketing standpoint. And I'm not saying these are the right answers, but here's what's going through my mind. Subaru has, frankly, a head start and an advantage. Their brand's credible. If they don't sell those BRZs, they're doing something horribly wrong. Scion has a credibility problem based on the comments we're seeing. No one takes them as a serious car brand anymore. If I was Scion, I would take this car, I would race the hell out of it, and make the brand authentic. Call the bluff of all these people who are doubting
You're
the
only
Scion
saying
brand.
that because you work in motorsports and you're trying to get a sponsorship deal.
No.
I know your game. You're coming on my show, not even my show, just to promote your work.
Well, then you're going to put my email address.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. If you read the comments, that's funny, and it may be true, and I may be making that call, but the truth is, I can just make the same argument about Toyota, but Toyota's got a head start because everyone wants the next AE86.
Yeah.
Old guys want the next 2000 GT, and it's going to be a tuner car. But Scion has horribly damaged their brand. They've become bad hipster.
Well,
so their authenticity, making it a good, fast car.
Yeah.
Honestly, whether they drift it or race it or whatever, they've got to get serious.
That's where I was going to go with this. They're going to be drifting that car.
I don't think that's enough.
That's going to end up in Formula Drift.
Now, I'm the old guy.
And being said, this car is designed to be lightweight and well balanced. They speak greatly of its almost perfect 50-50 weight distribution and how it's like the perfect fun sports car that hopefully will be cheap and accessible to the younger markets. And what are the younger markets? They probably think it's only Formula Drift. That's the problem that you're going to run into with that idea.
And that's why I would go back to the roots of AE86, which weren't just those drifting what's the Japanese cartoon? How do I pronounce that?
I don't know.
Magnus.
Anime.
Whatever. The roots of AE6 were road racing.
Yeah.
Okay? When we're driving a car, we like more than just turning it sideways and drifting. For Scion to drift, it feels to me like it's Scion still trying too hard to be cool. If they did more with it and raced it, they'd have a better shot at being reconsidered as more authentic, in my opinion.
And what about Subaru? Are they going to put an all-wheel drive system in there, or
I would be shocked.
There may be some kind of stipulation here behind the scenes where they're not allowed to do that for X amount of years before the STI motor, while Toyota works on their version.
Well, there's something else you said about maybe what this deal is all about, and I guess it was originally driven by Toyota.
Yeah.
But there's been shared engineering funds. In answer to your Subaru question, I've actually even heard the rumor that this thing is going to be the WRC car.
That's what I would hope, right?
Wherever it happens, I would be shocked over the life of this car that does not become more of a Subaru STI type performance car. It screams for it. They'll establish certain things that they want to do for a business and price point with the rear wheel drive, but it's got to be a Subaru eventually.
Yeah. It's the first Subaru in the recent years. Yeah, first Subaru in the recent years, probably in the past, I don't even know how many years, that is not offered an all-wheel drive.
And this is not as controversial because in Japan there are front-wheel drive Subarus and
Okay,
other things.
I'm talking about U.S. market. Yeah.
Okay. So everyone will come to terms with this car. You can only get it in Subaru Blue, by the way. You cannot get that blue on the Scion or the Toyota.
Interesting.
So little by little, everyone's making the little steps to differentiate their cars. As the pressure comes on, it'll be more and more.
Do you think that in the boardroom and behind the scenes, they've kind of firmed up the prices so that they are in their own little zones, or do you think they're going to be competitive with each other?
It would be.
Do you think there's going to be a premium for a Subaru?
I have a gut feeling that the prices are going to be very similar, and they're depending on the loyalty of their brand and the owners to those brands to sell their portion of it. And that's the part where you have to tell everyone about what you think you know about when Scion's going to be for sale in America and when a Subaru is going to be on.
Here's the last question we'll leave you with this is there going to be an issue? We've heard that the Scion FRS is not going to be sold in the U.S. until mid to late next year. And I've heard from a Subaru PR person, that they're going to start selling the Subarus in the U.S. early next year. So how is this going to work where the Subarus come first and then the Scions come, if that be the case? Or maybe that's, maybe I'm just wrong.
I don't know whether you're wrong, but let's take what was told you to be that case. If I'm a Scion person, I am freaking the fuck out because I don't believe people are as brand loyal as they used to be.
Yeah.
Number two, everyone's kind of feeling that the Subaru BRZ is the more authentic performance car.
Yes.
We don't have Toyota in the U.S. So I'm going to give Subaru a head start to get only X amount of customers are going to like this car. I'm competing against Subaru. I give them a 9-month, 6-month head start. Then I'm going to try to say, oh, well, here's Scion. We're a performance car, too. either that's wrong,
Yeah.
or there's someone at Subaru
Well-
that really tricked the deal and it's got a good start.
It could be wrong. None of that. We don't know any facts or figures. We don't even know. I couldn't even find where they're producing these cars or how many cars they're producing.
Yeah,
So-
I thought it was coming out of one plant, and I know there's been some online controversy of how limited the production is. I believe Toyota basically said, we'll sell as many as we can. I'm doing this all from gut. This is going to be somewhere between 15 and 30,000 vehicles sold. I don't know whether Scion has that capacity. I bet you Subaru could as
Most
a brand
certainly, yeah.
here. And Toyota around the globe, they'll sell a good share. They are going to compete with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And if you price point one up, because they've created this whole kit car mentality to it, people are going to gravitate toward the lowest price car and go. If you put a $2,000 premium on a Subaru blue paint job, it is not going to work.
It's not going to work. I think at this point we leave the question to you: is would you buy a brand based off of if you've two identical cars? Would you buy the car based off its brand?
So,
I think that's the big question here.
and I'm going to screw up with your head, because here's what I would do. I'd buy the lowest price car if I felt comfortable with the service from the dealership, and I would badge swap and mix parts and make my own car.
You notice that all the badges are just pasted on. They're all going to be debadged.
Oh, that's going to be, believe me, the guy that's going to make the most money in this country is importing Toyota badges for the Scions.
Or not only that, the guy who imports the front bumpers from Toyota, because they are a little different. They have different grill inserts and whatnot.
And I predict someone in Japan is already penning the 2000 GT nose to graft onto the front of this thing. So it's all good.
Ow, we're living in